This is the brand new Hoyt VTM 31. This year for 2023, Hoyt made a couple different changes to their aluminum riser bows, one of which is a longer axle to axle. This one's a 31 inch, and they also offer a 34 inch ATA in the VTM model. You might also notice a different color for this year. This is called Bourbon. It's just a little bit darker than the buckskin that they had last year, but it blends in really well with the fall colors here in the Midwest and just looks awesome out in the woods. I'm just gonna go over some of the features and accessories that I'm using here in Iowa to chase whitetail this fall. First of all, some of the new features for 2023, like I said, longer ATA. This 31 is actually 30 and 5/8 inches axle to axle. And another feature is this hole right down here in the riser. A lot of people were having issues with their integrate rest cord rubbing on that when drawn back. Now they've integrated a hole right into that riser that this cord for your integrate rest goes right through down to your cable, and that way there's no issues hitting that, and it can come up cleanly and then release cleanly down when the shot fires. They also have a couple different holes in different places of the riser to make it more lightweight, and honestly, it looks pretty cool in my opinion. This bow has a 6-inch brace height, like I said, 30 and 5/8 inches axle to axle, goes from 25 to 30 inches on the draw length with 2 different mods. These HPX Pro cams are the same that they had on their bows last year, and its advertised speed is 342 feet per second, coming in at 4.6 pounds on the bow weight. I've got this thing set at 72 pounds. I've got the 70-pound limbs cranked down all the way, so it's giving me just a couple extra pounds right now. Shooting it at 28.5 inches on the draw mods, just a hair past that on the actual draw length, about 28 3/4, which is perfect for me. So let's go over some of my accessories on this bow. Shooting the same sight that I've used for probably 5-6 years now. Black Gold Ascent Verdict 5-pin. It's a movable sight, so I can use that bottom pin as my rover or my ranger, whatever you want to call it, my floater pin, and can dial that down. I got my RX-7 last year out to about 110 to 115 yards. For practice purposes, use that at Total Archery Challenge a lot for some of those longer shots on like a moose, elk, or a buffalo target. Super fun stuff. So I love being able to do that. This sight has worked really well for me over the years. I'm shooting the Hoyt quiver here, 6-arrow, detachable, and I've actually got this thing tucked up really close. It's actually touching the riser, which is providing a second point of contact here on the bottom. You got that thing super tight, and Josh actually helped me out with that and helped me kind of get this thing dialed in perfectly so it's really tight to the riser and 0 vibration on it, which is actually really awesome. Got it up pretty high too, so my nocks aren't ever going to hit the dirt or the ground or anything like that and get a bunch of dirt in my nocks, which is always a hassle. So that's what I'm running, a 6-arrow. I've been running a 6-arrow the past couple years. You never know what you're going to come into, especially on a hunt like out west, elk hunting, mule deer hunting, antelope hunting, something like that. It's always good to have extra arrows, in my opinion. Right now you can see I just have 4 in, but I've got a couple more that I'm going to build here shortly and get those in the quiver for hunting. But you never know what you're going to encounter, so I like to have as many arrows as possible. 6 is perfect for me. I can even have that last 6th arrow on this far side to be a judo point or something like that if I need to practice or shoot out a grouse or whatever the case may be. So same quiver I was running last year, bourbon color to match the bow. Looks pretty slick. Shooting the integrate rest again this year. Love this thing. Haven't had any issues with it. Tunes up super fast and streamline, everything like that. Really like it. It seems to work well, especially with this cutout here in the riser for that cord to go down in. It seems to work even better than in past years. For stabilizers, this is a 10-inch front bar with 10 ounces on the front, and then I've got an 8-inch back bar with 7 ounces on the back. A lot of people like to run more weight in the back, especially target archers. I believe we run more weight in the back than the front, but this is just what I've been comfortable with. I've been shooting this heavy front stabilizer for 5 seasons now, even before I even had a back bar in my old Nitram 30, and I absolutely loved it. It seemed to really help me steady my shot, which is obviously the point of a stabilizer. And even though it seems like a lot of weight and this bow might be really heavy to some people, this is how I like it, and this is how I shoot best, with a lot of weight up front. I will be experimenting with a 12-inch front bar and maybe a 10-inch back bar later on this year, but at least for right now, for tree stand hunting, I don't want something crazy bulky and it's going to stick out too far, because sometimes I run into issues with hitting limbs out in front of me in my shooting lanes with the stabilizer. And I kind of like it just a little bit smaller for tree stand hunting if possible, so I'm going to keep it like this for right now. Seems to work out really well for me. And then one of the coolest features that I really like that Hoyt's had the past couple years is these go sticks. I use these all the time. Screw them right in. I used to use one that clamped to my limb on my older model bows, but these things work really slick. Used them for turkey hunting a bunch this spring. Used them out west and use them at the range, and it just sits there like that. That's easily, it's a simple feature, but it's easily one of my favorite features that they've come out with in the past couple of years. So now let's move on to my arrow setup. These are Easton Axis 5mm 340 spine. I've got them at 467 grains of total arrow weight. Shooting AE Max Stealth seemed to work well for me. And if you see on here, I have the light and nocks. I'm shooting the nocturnal light and knock. And one thing to note is these arrows weigh a little bit different with the light and knock compared to a normal knock. So something that Josh and I have been doing recently is actually adding a screw to our nocks, our normal nocks, so that way it adds the extra weight, and it's the exact same weight as our light and knock. So we can shoot with that during all summer, Total Archery Challenge. Anytime we're practicing, we put those nocks in, and it's the exact same weight as the light and nocks. And then when we're ready for hunting season, pop those light and nocks in, gonna weigh the exact same. If you want to check out how to do that, I've got a video of that too. You can check that out in the description or up above. And that seems to work out really well. I've just actually started doing that this year. Josh has been doing it for a couple years now, and that way the arrow weight's the exact same all the way across. Shooting some Rage again this year seemed to work well for me, at least for whitetails anyway. That's what I'm shooting, and that's pretty much it. That's going to be my setup for Iowa whitetail and beyond this fall. Hoyt VTM 31, brand new bow. Really like it, shooting awesome. Hope to have some great success with it this fall. If you found this video interesting or helpful, it would really help our channel out if you subscribed and liked this video. And if you're interested in setting up your own bow from start to finish, tuning process, sighting it, and everything, check out our online bow build course in the description below. Josh and I have had an amazing fall thus far. He shot a cow elk in Nebraska in August, which that video is done. That's on the channel. But we both had great success on awesome bulls in September. Josh shot an antelope, and then here recently, a nice muley buck. Those videos will all be coming out later on. So if you want to check those out, subscribe, and you'll be able to see those videos as soon as they're released. With that, thanks for watching, happy hunting, and good luck this fall.